What's up, everybody? It's your boy Season. So today, this was a community tab request. We're going to be taking a look at my top robot pickups of 2025. We're going to be doing a top 5 for those today. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the top 5. So at number 5, I'm going to go with one that I never thought would make a top 5 list. And that is the Goodsmile Great Firebird. Just its sheer size alone is amazing. It's probably one of the biggest brave ones that we've gotten thus far. And we know that Great Firebird is a combination of Firebird and Grandbird. And I really enjoy Firebird. Firebird is one of my favorite designs in all of Brave. The Grandbird, I wasn't as impressed with just because it's a parts former. But I think what you get with it, the head sculpt was good, the detailing was good. It is a tricky transformation if you're doing the combined form. I think that it's going to be something that you're going to really have to pay attention to what you're doing. But I think overall it is very, very good. And if you are someone who likes Brave, you'll definitely like the Goodsmile Great Firebird. I will say that it only has one glaring weakness, and that is its legs and its knees. I'm not sure, since there's no die cast, because he's carrying significant weight, the top and from the bottom, with all of the parts from Grandbird. And so I don't know if it's going to stay together over time. It just seems a little soft as far as the plastic is concerned. And that is really my only concern. But if you're talking about from an aesthetic standpoint, also, I think Goodsmile just did really, really good work here. So that is my number 5 pick, the Goodsmile Great Firebird. 4, I'm gonna go with one that actually nobody really talks about all that much that came out last year, and that is the Action Toys Voltron Lion Force set. I think that this one is very underrated, and I know that there was a little bit of controversy when it first came out, just simply because it's actually smaller than what we're used to seeing in the US. In the US, we're used to the blitzways and the Solar Gokin Voltrons that are, 18 inches, 15 inches, 13 inches. This one is actually more, I think it's about 8.6 inches tall, so that's a little small for us in the US, and usually the ones that are at this scale are definitely not die cast. Most of the time they're plastic. And so I think that this one is really underrated. The color separation that they did with it, the articulation is very, very good. And the fact that they were able to get an anime accurate look, having a mechanism where you can remove the legs and then just put the covering on there in order to get the no legs shown during the transformation. And I think that that is remarkable. And I'm surprised that no one else ever came up with that, because it's relatively simple. But you get all of the weapons. The lions are pretty decent, even though, of course, most of the people are going to be getting it just for Voltron itself. But I think that this is a piece that kind of just went under the radar. It came and went, and after it was released, nobody really talked about it much. But I think that this is a piece worth mentioning. So this is my number 4 pick, the Action Toys Voltron Lion Force. So for number 3, I'm going with a piece that really surprised me this year, and I wasn't expecting much out of it, but my number 3 pick goes to Mazinger Zero from Ryobot. I was blown away by this piece. I did not expect that much out of it, especially since the release date for the Mazinger Zero was only 6 months after the Mazing Emperor G. And the Mazing Emperor G I was not as blown away by. And so I didn't know what to expect with this one, but when I saw that it had the giant iron cutter, I was already sold right then. And I believe that this one is one of the best Mazinger Zero figures there is. The articulation on it is top notch. What you can do with the neck, it's amazing. What you can do with the ankles, the articulation, the level of detail that you have in this piece is just, it is so top notch. And the fact that they made a Mazinger Zero that can actually stand on the Zero Scranger and create that classic shot from the manga is so great. I love this piece. It gives you all of the accessories that you would need. It doesn't give you any effect parts as far as for the chest blaster and stuff like that, but I think that overall this piece was remarkable, and I was totally blown away by this piece. If you are someone who loves Mazinger Zero, I would say that this one is the one to get, even over the CCS. The CCS one is great. The only thing that the CCS has on this one is the fact that it's bigger and it's more detailed. Other than that, and I'm talking about panel lining and stuff like that, but other than that, I do believe that this is the best Mazinger Zero. So my number 3 pick goes to Mazinger Zero from Ryobot. So for number 2, I'm gonna go with a figure that I called a masterpiece, and I'm going to give my pick for number 2 to the Blitzway Mazinger. I thought that the Blitzway Mazinger was one of the best mazinger I have ever seen. It is humongous. Now we all know that Blitzway does great work. They did great work with the Voltron, and this mazinger is truly no different. It is humongous. I would say it's probably at least 14, 15 inches. It is huge. It is bigger than all of the CCS figures that I have, and those are usually the biggest ones that I have. But the Blitzway mazinger is truly amazing. The level of detail and the quality of this product is so amazing. Now, the thing about this was that this one was actually delayed almost a year because it went through a redesign. And that is not something that we normally know about in the public, but I think that this one was worth the wait for sure. I would say that the only true weak point that I thought that this one had is its lighting gimmick. Even though the eyes lit up pretty well, but I thought the one for the chest piece was very, very weak. And I did not like the effect parts for mazinger, even though you get all of his effect parts and all of that, and most of those are good, but when it came to the one for the chest, those tend to fall off a little too easy for me. Same with the ones for like his rocket punch. I thought that those could have been done better, but I think overall, the level of detail in this figure and the amount of die cast that this one has, this is probably one of the heaviest figures that I have. And I think that if you are someone who loves Mazinger or loves mazinger, you will love this piece. Now, it is very expensive and it may be a little bit harder to find because I don't see too many of these being resold. But if you can find it, this is definitely worth the pickup. So my number 2 pick goes to the Blitzway mazinger. So for number 1, this was a real fight between number 2 and number 1. And really, the only main reason I gave this one the nudge over mazinger was for one thing. And it was one thing that I actually don't care that much about personally, but I have to give my number 1 pick to Ultimate Dan Cougar from CCS Toys. Oh my gosh, I was shocked how good the CCS Ultimate Dan Cougar was. And I remember when I saw the prototype, because there's 2 versions of Ultimate Dan Cougar. You have the CCS Toys version and you have the Goodsmile version, and I saw prototypes of both. And I wasn't sure I was gonna like it. I didn't know if I was going to like the design because to me, it didn't look like Dan Cougar anymore. And for me, that was a very important piece because Dan Cougar is one of my favorite designs. Not my number 1, but it's in my top 10 for sure. You guys know that I love CCS Toys. They have been doing amazing work the last few years. It all started for me with the CCS Gunbuster, and then with all of the mazingers. I just think that this company is doing such great work. And there's only really one company that's doing better work than them, and that is Blitzway. But Blitzway takes way too much time to do their stuff. So even though it's really, really good when we finally get it, a lot of times those end up being delayed a lot. And the thing about this one was the articulation for a suit that's this big is quite remarkable, especially because I'm not usually a fan of chunkier designs, but ever since I started liking the Kasi Gundam, I started liking chunkier designs. And to me, what this one has, there's so much here to like. And if you have ever played any of the Super Robot War games, Ultimate Dan Cougar is in there, and that's what he's actually from. And I just think that CCS Toys, they knocked this one out of the park. But the one thing that I gave this the edge over mazinger was actually the lighting. And it's funny because I don't even care about lighting that much. But the fact was that I thought that the lighting for mazinger wasn't that good, but the CCS one is really, really good. Now, I don't like the magnetic switch that it uses. I would prefer a push button or something like that. But it shines bright, and it's all over. It's not 1 or 2 spots, it's all over. It's the backpack, it's the feet, it's the gauntlet on its arms, it's the head. All of that stuff lights up. It's the cannons on the back. I mean, there's not much to dislike here. And it gives you all of the accessories that you would want for his big sword and all of that. I just think that Ultimate Dan Cougar, this is a really good piece. And that was the reason why I picked it over the Blitzway mazinger. So my number 1 pick for 2025 goes to the CCS Toys Ultimate Dan Cougar. So that's it for today. This was my top 5 robot pickups of 2025. I hope it was worth the wait. I originally was not gonna even try to do this top 5, but it was voted on in the community tab. I've talked about the community tab on many occasions, and so always check the community tab because you never know when I'm gonna put up a poll. But anyways, so that's what I've got for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. And also, I found an email from 6 months ago from a fan from Korea that was giving me a lot of information about what was going on in Korea. And I do apologize, it was in my spam folder and I never saw it. I never got any notifications about it. But if you guys are trying to reach me, whether that's with questions, ideas, things of that nature, I did start a new Gmail account, so you can reach me at seasonreviews@gmail.com. I will put the link in the description, and you guys can always email me there, and I will definitely try to get back to you guys as soon as I can. But thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys were able to get some value out of it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.